The truth is, you're way more than enough. The idea that you need to fix this not enoughness is keeping you in a trap of always believing you're not enough on an invisible and silent way. The people you're trusting for help haven't actually achieved what you desire. It's absolutely ridiculous. And if any personal development instructor, self-help coach tries to tell you that they can clear all your fears or clear all your negative beliefs, you just tell them, look them straight in the eye, and just let them know from me that they're a liar. I'm Duncan. And this is Self-Made Millionaire. If you've done all the courses, meditated, journaled, healed your inner child, but are still feeling stuck, you're not alone. After helping thousands of driven entrepreneurs like you, I discovered the real shift isn't in fixing yourself. It's in creating from your superconscious. This podcast will help you to break the loop, stop oscillating, and finally build a business that gives you time, wealth, and true freedom without burning out. Let's dive in. Self-help and personal development is hurting your business growth. It's actually holding you back and causing you to stay stuck, which I know sounds counterintuitive. Yet when I was faced with this brutal truth that personal development is so focused on trying to fix my reality, it wasn't actually helping me build my business. And I know this is true for you. If you've read the books, gone to the courses, if you're all in on trying to create business success, you've probably been led down the idea that you need to think and grow rich, or the magic of thinking big, or that if you change the way you think or feel, you'll have the success you want. And it's actually a complete lie. It's a complete myth, and it props up a multi-billion-dollar industry designed to keep you stuck. The first truth is this, is most people that are in personal development, self-help, and reading the books, doing all the work, they're addicted to a structure that they're not enough. Instead of going and having what they want, they have an unconscious belief that they're not enough. This not enough leads them to try to fix that feeling and filling it with more and more and more ideas and concepts and ways to change themselves. If only I could just meditate better. If only I changed my diet. If only I could sleep only a few hours. If only, then I'd be enough. The idea is that if we can finally become enough, then we can go have what we want, which doesn't work and leads you continually trying to become enough. And if you're watching this after years or decades of going to courses and you still don't have what you want, it's probably because you've sent a silent instruction to your consciousness that you're not enough and trying to fix it. And it just won't work. Unless you change it, you're going to be lying on your deathbed saying, once I just finally learn to meditate better, then I'll be successful. The truth is, you're way more than enough. You are so much more. You have a part of your brain that has built a body, digests, has your heart beating. You are so much enough. If you lined up 1,000 babies and you had them all there in front of you, could you point out the one that's not enough, that doesn't know how to meditate correctly, that doesn't know this? They're all enough. They're all worthy. They're all deserving of what they want in life. See, the idea that you need to fix this not enoughness is keeping you in a trap of always believing you're not enough on an invisible and silent way. The truth is, every single one of those babies, including you and myself, we learned to walk, we learned to talk, we learned to write. How did we learn to do that? Not by fixing our not enoughness, by focusing on what we want, invoking our higher mind, taking action, and becoming the person that we're destined to be. Brutal truth 2 is self-improvement is sophisticated procrastination disguised as progress. I couldn't tell you the amount of people that I've met who spend hours in meditation, hours trying to learn the next way to be in this idea that that's actually helping their business. But it's avoiding what they need to do. What they need to do is to build their business. They need to get out there, stay focused on what they're creating. They need to take action, but instead of doing that, they're too busy buckling to the tension of their fears. They fear rejection, or they fear that they can't trust people. So they try to change this fear. The idea that if they change this fear, they'll somehow become this perfect entrepreneur that can take action. No, you are going to have fears. You're a human being. If you didn't have fears, we'd be in really, really, really big trouble. You're not going to ever get to a reality where you don't have fears, you don't have worries, you don't have concerns. And if any personal development instructor, self-help coach tries to tell you that they can clear all your fears or clear all your negative beliefs, you just tell them, look them straight in the eye, and just let them know from me that they're a liar. because no human being can survive without fears. No human being can survive without being worried about what other people think of them. That is honestly, that's psychopathic to even think that you're somehow going to arrive at this idea where you are only positive all the time. That's a complete deceit and it's a complete lie. And that's why people stay stuck going around in this procrastination. So instead of fighting the unconscious fears and worries and doubts, what I want you to do is realize that they are just a natural part of this human experience, to breathe into them, to realize that they're giving you information. You do fear that people reject you. You do worry if you are good enough. You do worry these, but instead of trying to push them away, the term resistance means to stand against. When you try to push away, things must push back to you. When you just acknowledge that it's okay to have those, you become like the little child who wants to dive off the high diving board and she's scared and she's terrified and she starts walking up the stairs and her knees shake and she's worried, but she really wants to have the fun of jumping off that high diving board into the water. So she gets up there, she overcomes her fears, has a great time. The first time she does it, she's terrified. Then she runs back and does it again and does it again and does it again. That's when you're invoking your highest mind instead of sitting down at the side of the stairs and doing some breath work or chanting some mantra to get ready for the stairs while everyone else is just out there having a great time. Allow yourself to stop fighting and you'll find that they no longer hold you back. Brutal truth number 3 is that you're operating from a problem focus and not a creative focus. A problem focus is where you look at a reality and you try to change it. A creative focus is you look at what's not there and try to bring it into being. The problem focus is what everyone talks about in personal development. They say, here is your life and try to fix it, try to change it. Put it this way, if you want to try to get away from something, that thing must always exist. This is why people always are trying to get a different body shape, trying to make the money, have purpose, have the right relationship, and it keeps on pulling them back to that same problem focus. Think of it this way. If you didn't want to live in a certain place, let's say you didn't want to live in Sydney, Australia, you say, I don't want that, right? Like, I don't want to be broke, or I don't want to be unhappy. I don't want that. You go and you start traveling and being in other places. But how do you know you're not in the place you don't want to be? That place must exist. So Sydney must always exist. And sorry to, put Sydney up on the pedestal there is something bad. I love Sydney, by the way, all my Sydney sides. Give me a comment in the chat box. But if you don't want to live in Sydney, Sydney must exist so that you know when you're there, so you know to go away from it. This is how most people orient. They say, I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be this. I don't, and it's unconscious. They don't want it. And so therefore it must always exist. And then they go to seminar or course or read book, who again says, you shouldn't have fears. You shouldn't have negative thoughts. You shouldn't have this. And all it does is that creates this reality where what you don't want must always exist. The creative structure is what you must do, which is where you say, I choose to live here. I choose to have that. I choose this. And I don't mind that I'm going to be moving towards it. But then when you choose what you want is the one thing that must exist. And so when I'm not there, the only thing that I want to create is the one thing that I'm moving towards. The truth is nearly every single personal development out there puts you in a problem focus and it keeps you stuck. You need to shift to a creative focus today. Most of the teachers don't put you into the problem focus intentionally. It's actually just how they're oriented in life. I've met a lot of them, in fact, a heck of a lot of them, and most of them don't have their life put together the way they want. I remember reading Jordan Peterson's book, his second book, it was called like Beyond Order or something like that, and I only read the first chapter, because after reading the first chapter, I realized he was completely in the problem focus. If you've read that book or know anything about the man, great message, lots of good stuff, but in his own life, he was so sick and was addicted to some medication. I don't know it off by heart, but he was addicted to a medication, so addicted that he had to go all the way to Russia to finally get off this medication. Can you believe that someone would be out there teaching others how to put their life together, yet on the inside, they don't actually have their life together and they're addicted to it. And so they don't even know they're doing this. And I tell you where it started. It started over 100 years ago with Freud and Jung versus a different psychologist, Alfred Adler. Adler was the one that they couldn't make any money from. Because Elder said, let go of your past and create your future. Whereas the other two said, fix your past, fix your past, fix your past. And so all of these people unintentionally are in this idea of fixing or healing their past, and they put you in the exact same focus. And unfortunately, it's keeping you stuck and keeping them paying you more and more money. Real quick, if you're a driven entrepreneur who's done all the work but still feels stuck, or like you're oscillating between progress and burnout, I've got something really powerful for you. I'm running a live training where I'll show you how to unlock your superconscious so you can finally create the freedom, wealth, and impact you're here for. Hit the link in the show notes to save your spot. And now, back to the episode. The fourth brutal truth of why self-help isn't helping you scale is you're trying to fix yourself into a different identity instead of creating from your current one. This idea that there's a different identity that you need to be in order to create is ridiculous. You are superconscious. You have a higher mind, and this higher mind is far greater than you are allowing it to be. In this highest mind, when you truly tune into that, you can have ideas, impulses, desires. You can have genius wisdom that can flow down into you, far greater than any human identity. What happens is we get sold a lie that there is a way we need to be, and if we could be that way, then we can have what we want. But it's just so far from the truth. When you look at all the top successful creators and you put any name out there, you will see a person who has flaws. You'll see a person, they may drink too much. They may not be may not be that happy. They may not have this. They may not have everything together. But what they've been able to do is to create. Here's the truth: is if you create what it is that you want to create in life, a great marriage, you want to create a great business. If you create that, it will give you the identity. You become it. It's like creating, a garden. If you create a garden that gives you the right food, you have to become a gardener. But you don't focus on becoming a gardener first. You get out there and you do it. By doing it, your superconscious pulls in wisdom, pulls in understanding so that you become it. Instead of trying to become a certain way to create what you want, create what you want and you will be it. Brutal truth number 5 of why self-help is stopping you scale is that the people you're trusting for help haven't actually achieved what you desire. In 2017, I gave up any personal development, any self-help, anything at all because I had a billionaire coach. And he said to me, most of those people that are there teaching you, the only way that they make money is by teaching you. They don't actually have a real business. He said it's embarrassing, it's disrespectful, it's deceitful. He said, why do you need to make money by teaching others when you don't have any examples? Which is why, if you look at all of my programs, they're basically free. I'm giving this because I went out there and built what it is I needed to build. And obviously my billionaire coach isn't interested in it. Most people you're trusting, if you actually ask them for proof, show me a screenshot of your bank account, lift up your shirt, show me the belly fat that you have, show me your relationship, show me that you're living the life I want. Most of them can't. Most of them seriously can't. They don't have the money without the ability to stand up on stage and to teach and to code. They don't have the money outside of that. They haven't built a real business. Second, most of them don't have the health that they want. They're hiding all sorts of conditions. And truthfully, this was what so I retired for 2 years. I just played golf, had a great time, hung out with my wife, went to the beach, had an awesome time. Most of them have never had freedom. They've never had that freedom where they actually get to the top. And I remember doing it. I bought the Lamborghini, paid off my house, put $10 million away in an investment fund. And if you want, I can send you a freaking screenshot of it all. And I did that. And then I was constantly getting fed on Instagram and YouTube all of these ideas from people who have no idea how to do it. They tell you that there's a certain feeling, that if you feel a certain feeling, then you're going to get what you want. Ridiculous, rubbish. It doesn't even hold up. I mean, the amount of super rich people that I've met who don't feel abundant and have tons of... Warren Buffett's an example. He lives in the same house from the 1960s. He gives himself $100,000 a year to spend, nothing more. He goes to McDonald's every day. He drinks Coca-Cola, goes to McDonald's every day. He doesn't have this perfect health routine. He doesn't have any of the stuff that others would tell you that you need to have. Yet, I think he's, at any given time, the top 1, 2, or 3 richest person on the planet. You see? So reality doesn't hold up to what it is that they're saying. And so what you must do is you must examine the information. You must hold it up against reality. Don't just trust me either. You must look at reality, see what they've done. Are they coming from a place that they've actually been able to do it? They can show it to you. Or are they just teaching you what others taught them and they're not actually living the life that they say they are? The amount of people out there trying to teach you in business how to be successful who have not created anything close to a successful business is beyond a joke. It's beyond an epidemic. It's absolutely ridiculous. I see every single day a coach saying, I can show you how to make your next 6 figures online, or I can show you how to hack this or do this. But think about this. If someone says to you that they can show you how to make 6 figures, that means they're just going to show you how to be broke. 6 figures can't even pay after tax one employee. If someone says to me the other day, show you how to have a 7-figure business, so what? Why does that give you the right to show me what to do? 7 figures, right? Let's break it down. Pay tax, 600,000, right? 3 staff, 4 staff. It's nothing. They've done nothing. They're literally telling you that they've done nothing, and they're so busy wanting to go and teach you. See, most of the people that we're trusting out there, they're actually living in their own loop. See, they're so busy wanting to be seen as successful that they won't actually go out there and become successful. They're so busy wanting to be heard and seen and be shown as how great they are, they're just going to go and teach you. So what they did is they went to a course, they learned some stuff, they applied it a little bit to think they know enough, and now they're off teaching you what to do. Yet if you actually look, they haven't employed staff. They haven't had to go through a legal battle. They haven't been sued. They haven't done the things that an entrepreneur needs to do. They haven't built it more than once. I mean, my business coach, I played golf with him the other day. You know, he's a 9-figure entrepreneur. You would never know who he is. He's buying businesses, selling businesses, doing things. You would never know who he is. Plays golf, gives me one idea here, another idea there. And he says to me, he goes, most of the people online, which is why I resisted doing this for so long. He said they're dancing bears. They're dancing bears at a circus. They're dancing and people are throwing money at them. It's just a joke. And so most entrepreneurs find their way into these courses and these programs where the person that's teaching them and showing them what to do has never exited a business, has never had freedom, has never truly arrived at where they want to be. And so instead, they're off teaching you. Now, not everyone. There are some very good people out there doing some really good work who do have the proof and have created it. But most of it, the rule of thumb is most people haven't created the success you're looking for, and they're going to use your insecurity of not being good enough to propagate their selling of information that hasn't even worked for them. So be aware. So those are the 5 brutal truths keeping you stuck from scaling your business. What you must do is learn to focus on what it is that you want to create without trying to fix your current reality. Know that the people you're learning from have actually done what they say they're doing. So let me know below this video, which of these has really stood out to you? Which one have you seen yourself get caught in before? And what would you love me to share more on this channel? Let me know. If you got value from today's episode, make sure to subscribe so you never miss the real conversations and tools to help you break the cycle so you can create a business and life you actually love. If you're ready for more support, check out the link in the show notes. I'm running a live training where you'll learn how to unlock your superconscious and start scaling with purpose, profit, and peace. And don't forget to follow me on all socials at Chris M. Duncan. Remember, stop solving problems, start creating your future.